At loaves and fish, and some of you, when I say that, you're probably really hungry right now. I'm sorry about that, but we're looking at loaves and fish, and we're talking about that God grants the ability to provide for the needy around us if we look, listen, and are obedient to His leading. The scripture we're looking at is found in Matthew chapter 14, and it says this: As soon as Jesus heard the news, He left in a boat to a remote location to be alone. But the crowds heard where He was heading and followed on foot from many towns. Jesus saw the huge crowd as He stepped from the boat, and He had compassion on them and healed their sick. That evening, the disciples came to Him and said, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "That isn't necessary. You feed them." "But we have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here," He said. Then He told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up towards heaven, and blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, He gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed it to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. There are 3 things that we can reflect on when looking at this scripture, and the first one is this: ask God to fulfill you with compassion, or fill you with compassion for the needs of the multitudes, whether healing, provision, wisdom, direction, or forgiveness. The second thing is this: pray for people of God to be moved to generosity. Bring their resources to God, to Jesus, to participate in God's miraculous provision for others. And the last thing is, ask the Lord to grant you the wisdom needed to help allocate resources, bless others, and overlook no one as you serve His people. One thing that you can do as a family is talk with your family about someone in your community that you can bless. Maybe it's another family or a local homeless population. Put together a basket of food or bag of supplies to bless them. Include encouraging letters and cards in that. Talk about the many ways God provides for those in need through us when we are obedient to Him, and how that helps us share His love with the world. So I encourage you to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and how you can share the loaves and fish with the community around us. I hope to see you tonight at 6:30 in the sanctuary, as we'll continue prayer and fasting and see what God is going to continue to do in our midst.